Okay, I'm finally going to be talking about an anime that I do like, and I've probably one of the best shows I've seen starting 2004 is A Pilot's Love Song. This is a different kind of show for me, uh, whereas this is a type of plot that has more involved with more royalty. More royalty oriented as opposed to just the typical common folk stories. Now this one does its character development very well and balances out with other characters that are not primarily centered along with the story. Uh, I'll start things off with introducing what happens in the first episode. The character Kal-El, not the Kryptonian name or something like that, is getting into pilot military school and saying goodbye to his father and his family, and all to find what's called the sky's end. And but in reality, he's going to pilot military school in order to find one person in particular, known as Nina the Wind Sorceress. He hates this person to pretty much every degree, and he's also accompanied by his sister, who wants to keep him out of trouble and make sure that he gets through all right. She wants to join for her own reasons too, but afterwards, Kal-El meets up with a girl called Claire, who also wants to who is very skittish, very shy, but starts to develop into quite the interesting character, and starts to fall in love with Kal-El, and and actually reveals that she has the same intentions to learn how to fly into the sky and all that jazz. It's very romantic and very captivating. They both do have affection for each other, but it's not like overblown to the point where you're like, oh, it's just one other love story. No, this show takes its time to develop the characters as they go. There is also one other character who I can't remember his name, but he's like a white-haired individual who hates Kal-El for every reason that he has to, and I'll get to that a little bit. But I do want to let all of you know in advance that this other information that I will be disclaiming is details about the show, but it's kind of hard to talk a little bit further about the show without spoiling it and spoiling the story for you. So if you want to take my word that this show is very interesting, please turn this review off, because I will spoil just about everything about it up to about episode 7. Now, Kal-El his real name is Prince Carl of the Royal Crown, and he was about I want to say 7-ish, maybe a little bit older, but he remembers very well that he was raised in a royal family, but a revolution uprising has pretty much left the royal family in shambles now, and all of the Royal Crown's military has been taken down, crashing to the ground, like literally, thanks to Nina the Wind Sorceress, with her abilities to summon typhoons, hurricanes, and tornadoes. Holy crap, this girl is badass. But afterwards, the royal family is quote-unquote arrested and taken to the town square to bow down before the new ruler. Which, man, these are... I've seen like riots of this kind of stuff happening. Like everyone knows about the Egyptian riots that has happened. More recently, the Ukraine government, thank God about uh, that protest. But anyways, I'm getting off track. But these guys are just utterly mean spirited and just god dang. I've never seen more worse protesters than these people. But the the problem in this portion is that I don't know what the two sides are. They haven't explained yet why there's protests, or if the royal crown is at fault or not. So, and I guess for Carl is it's quite an exception, because he probably doesn't know about certain things that have been going on or anything like that. But for right now, he just hates this sorceress girl that has pretty much rocked his entire world to the ground. And after all this, after bowing down to her, his parents get killed, and thanks to an ally of the crown, he's set free and now adopted into the family that you see in the first episode. And with that, his overall goal is to take revenge on the princess, or the Wind Sorceress. And this is where it gets really interesting. They start to explain about Claire's own connections to the revolution, and God, I'm just gonna come out with it now. They subtly reveal that Claire is the Wind Sorceress. I'm gonna give you a moment to let that sink in, but man, this is one of the best turnover or plot twists I've ever seen in a show, man. And they do go into depth of her history, like she was but a peasant, and also accused of witchcraft since she starts to summon winds at convenient times whenever she's like in trouble or something like that. So, and I guess people start to get wind of this. More of like the other royalists start to suspect what's going on, and they make her this icon of hope and rebellion against the people in charge. Excuse me. Now the royalists are the other royalists that Carl's related to is out of power. She's now a figurehead for the people of great hope and righteousness for the future and something like that. And when you look at it from her point of view, she's really distraught, and she's very depressed that's all that she's good at right now, is just to be a figurehead for everyone else to see. Though now the Admiral, who I don't know if she's related to him, I don't think that's been established, but the Admiral encourages her to join up the Air Force and learn to fly a plane and find the sky's end, and she gets that point. And there are other characters that have very good storylines, but none of them have really fully disclosed a lot of information. Like you find out that the white-haired dude who's skulking around and keeping his eyes on Carl. He's part of that party where he hated the royalists for some reason. I guess he feels his family was wronged by the royal family and stuff like that, and he's with that boat that the royalists should suffer or something like that. So I don't know yet They did say that in the seventh episode that he was Claire's bodyguard. So I guess that's probably the biggest reason that he's there, is to protect her. They have a couple of other characters too. Not a lot I remember, but the seventh episode, Mitty, he's a very distinguishable guy. Pretty much the big guy in the group, but he's very smart and teams up with probably the more attractive women in the school. So I'm gonna just throw that there. And this in the seventh episode, there wasn't a lot that added to the story, but there was a lot of action going on that. Of a dire situation. They were about to get attacked by, I guess, rebel forces. I'm not really sure what their enemies are. They still haven't told. They haven't disclosed what kind of enemy that they're facing off against afterwards. But that fight was amazing. I mean, it was very, very scary to think that they were going to have a bad situation turn worse when the bombers were going to pretty much bomb the floating rock that they're sitting on, which I still don't understand. How is that rock still floating? Anyways, Mitty gets killed, unfortunately, in a very honorable fashion. He sacrificed himself to save his partner, which is fucking awesome. A lot of these characters are very likable, and I didn't want him to die for what happened. Am I missing anything? They got a couple of other characters, but some of which I still don't remember their names. One other dude, the biggest guy in the school, Wolfgang. I love that name. He reminds me of Alex Louis Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist if he wasn't loud and obnoxious. He just has that kind and compassionate personality to him, and I want to see more about him. I want to know what every character's reason is to join the Air Force. So this show is really, really incredible for character development, and it's one of the few shows that I absolutely love that has come out in 2004. Aside from World Conquest, I can't remember the full name, but it's World Conquest something, and The Master of Killing Time, and some of the some other shows I can't really name off the top of my head, but a lot of them are very good and well done. So that's about it that I have for A Pilot's Love Song. I'm going to keep track of this show, and hopefully it'll get even better as it keeps going. And it hasn't shown signs of slowing down, so going to keep going. I'll see you guys on the next anime talk show. So stay tuned.